Human history has always hidden mysteries that leave the entire world astonished. From strange objects appearing in the skies of antiquity to brutal experiments, each story reveals a part of the truth that no one has ever known. Let's uncover the secrets that have been shrouded by time and bring to light the shocking events that once seemed to exist only in legend. So fasten your seatbelt as we dive into today's mystery. But first, you'll have incredible luck if you like and subscribe before this video ends. Unraveling the ancient mystery of death by constipation in Texas. In the arid lands of southern Texas, archaeologists have uncovered one of the most haunting stories about the life and death of ancient people, revealing a secret about kinship and compassion in a harsh, primeval world. Deep within a small rock shelter nestled among rugged cliffs, the remarkably preserved remains of a man, untouched for more than 1,000 years, silently recount the tragedy of a slow and agonizing death. His end was not the result of wild animals or natural disasters, but rather the cruel grip of chronic constipation. Modern analysis has revealed that this man suffered from Chagas disease, a condition that caused his colon to swell to an extraordinary size. For months leading up to his death, he could no longer forage for food or even move on his own. But what is truly moving are the traces found on his body and inside the shelter, which suggest that he was not alone in his suffering. His loved ones, motivated by love and unwavering patience, stayed by his side, carefully preparing each grasshopper, removing every wing and leg, and crushing them into small pieces so that he could swallow what little nourishment he could manage as his strength slowly faded. Despite their best efforts, the disease forced him to endure prolonged pain, with over 1 kilogram of waste unable to leave his body. This stands as stark evidence of the intense agony he must have suffered right up to his final moments. Yet, it was the devotion and humanity of his family that transformed a wild and unforgiving landscape into a final refuge for him. This is perhaps one of the oldest examples of end-of-life care in human history, a testament to the enduring power of compassion over the harshness of fate and nature. The story of the Texas man is not only a groundbreaking archaeological discovery, but also a powerful reminder of the roots of human kindness, the invisible bonds that have linked us together from prehistory to the present day. The mysteries of the past do not simply tell stories of survival. Sometimes, they reveal the quiet, enduring beauty of love and care. Hitler's frozen Antarctic base. In the early 1930s, as cold winds swept across a turbulent Europe, Germany, under Hitler's rule, suddenly shifted its gaze toward the icy continent of Antarctica. Their ambitions were no longer limited to the lands of Europe. Instead, they quietly began laying plans for expeditions to this untouched wilderness at the bottom of the world, with the publicly stated goal of protecting the whaling industry. Yet, behind that seemingly mundane explanation, a swirl of mystery began to take hold, sparking a wave of rumors and speculation that has never truly faded. From 1938 to 1939, German expeditions surveyed vast stretches of Antarctic ice and, at the same time, secretly planted their flag on territories that had already been claimed by Norway. In practical terms, the results of this mission yielded little benefit, as every effort to establish German territorial rights quickly ran aground against international law. But beneath that surface, questions about the true intentions of Hitler and the Nazi regime only continued to grow. Many believe that the whaling story was nothing more than a clever cover for secret projects that the Nazis had long dreamed of. One theory claims that, somewhere in the frozen wastes, they built a fortified underground base beneath the thick ice, an impregnable fortress intended as a haven for the highest-ranking leaders, or perhaps even as Hitler's final refuge after defeat. The legend grew even more sensational, with rumors that Hitler himself escaped to this hidden stronghold, fooling the world about his death. And, to add another twist, the story goes on to claim that American forces eventually discovered the location of this icy base and swiftly destroyed it in a massive explosion, erasing all evidence from history. However, to this day, all of it remains nothing more than rumor and speculation. There is no official record or credible evidence that Hitler ever ordered the construction of a secret Antarctic base, nor has anyone ever found traces of the vast underground structures described in these tales. Everything about Hitler and the frozen base at the edge of the world remains shrouded in the cold shadows of history, leaving behind unanswered questions and a lasting fascination for anyone drawn to humanity's deepest mysteries. The Tuskegee Syphilis Experiment. In 1932, in the United States, a deeply controversial medical study began under the name the Tuskegee Syphilis Experiment. This would become one of the darkest stains on the history of modern medicine. More than 600 African American men in Alabama, most of them poor and with little formal education, were misled into joining a research program they believed was meant to treat their bad blood. In reality, the majority of these men were already infected with syphilis, but the researchers had no intention of curing them. Over the course of 4 decades, from 1932 to 1972, the men in this experiment were closely monitored so that doctors could observe the natural progression of untreated syphilis. Even after penicillin became widely available as a proven cure in the 1940s, the study participants were deliberately denied treatment so that researchers could continue recording the disease's long-term effects. It wasn't only the men themselves who suffered. Many unknowingly passed the disease to their wives and children. Countless participants endured agonizing pain, severe complications, and even death, all while the researchers continued to collect data, prioritizing scientific goals over the rights and lives of the victims. The truth only came to light in 1972, thanks to the courage of an investigative journalist. Public outrage quickly swept across America and around the world. In response, the government was forced to issue a formal apology and enact stricter regulations on medical ethics, ensuring the right to informed consent and voluntary participation in all future studies. Still, the consequences of the Tuskegee experiment left a deep scar on the African American community, serving as a sobering warning to the world about the fragile line between science and morality. The flat Earth and hollow Earth theories. Throughout the course of history, there has been no shortage of bold theories about the true shape and structure of our planet. Among the most prominent and controversial are the flat Earth theory and the hollow Earth hypothesis, both of which place Antarctica at the center of countless mysteries and endless debates. To those who believe in the flat Earth theory, Antarctica is not just a frozen continent, but a colossal ice wall that encircles the edge of the world, the very boundary of everything we know. According to their view, all expeditions to Antarctica are tightly controlled to keep the truth about this boundary a secret, preventing anyone from ever reaching the edge of the ice. But it doesn't end there. The hollow Earth hypothesis has also sparked curiosity and imagination, suggesting the existence of an entirely different world deep beneath the Earth's surface. In the minds of its believers, Antarctica is more than a barren, icy wasteland. It conceals a hidden gateway to the underworld, a passage to a highly advanced civilization, or to creatures that humanity has never encountered. Stories of this mysterious entrance have appeared in countless records, legends, and even works of science fiction, giving the southernmost continent a unique allure. Although there is no scientific evidence to confirm these unusual theories, the fascination with Antarctica remains as powerful as ever. For many, this vast, white expanse stands as a symbol of the world's remaining secrets, a place where the imagination can roam free, far beyond the limits of conventional understanding. It is this enduring sense of mystery that has made Antarctica the focal point of endless questions about the origins, shape, and ultimate fate of our planet, ensuring that every expedition here is laden with hope for a major discovery, or at least a long-awaited answer to the mysteries that have captivated humanity for centuries. Accidents and miraculous survival stories. Across the vast stretches of the world's most desolate frozen lands, both humans and animals have repeatedly demonstrated a remarkable ability to survive against the harshest tests of nature. Stories of terrifying accidents interwoven with miraculous escapes not only stir the human spirit, but also leave scientists amazed and curious about the hidden strength of life itself. One particularly notable case involves a Peruvian diver who suffered a rare and nearly fatal accident deep beneath the sea. In a split second, a sudden change in pressure caused his body to swell to an abnormal size, leaving him unrecognizable from before. Despite enduring excruciating pain and long-term complications, he was fortunate to survive, thanks to his relentless willpower and the dedicated efforts of medical professionals. The diver's ordeal stands as both a warning of the dangers lurking in the natural world and a testament to the fierce survival instinct within us all. It's not just humans who have astonished the world with extraordinary tales of endurance. In Siberia, where temperatures can plunge dozens of degrees below zero, a stray dog frozen solid in a block of ice was discovered and brought back from the brink in a dramatic rescue. Through the combined efforts of local residents and veterinary staff, the dog gradually recovered and eventually found a new, warm home. Its journey back to life is not only a moving story of compassion, but also a powerful symbol of hope and triumph over adversity. Other wild animals, such as crocodiles and frogs, possess their own unique survival mechanisms for enduring brutal winters. To cope with the cold, crocodiles can rest with just their snouts above the frozen water, remaining almost completely still for days at a time. Meanwhile, certain frog species have the incredible ability to freeze alive, suspending all bodily functions until the warmth of spring returns and life resumes as normal. These are just a few of the strange and fascinating adaptations that modern science is still working to fully understand. Beyond these individual stories, animal rescue operations during the depths of winter have taken place all around the globe, from herds of donkeys trapped in Turkish snowdrifts to wildlife stranded by blizzards across North America. Every time a creature is brought back from the edge of death, our faith in the value of life and in the bond between people and between humans and nature is strengthened. These extraordinary stories are not just about endurance. They remind us of the deep connections linking humans, animals, and the natural world. Ice, danger, and hardship only serve to highlight the power of faith and the will to survive, turning every triumph over adversity into a lasting source of inspiration for generations to come. The mysterious cosmic energy flow. The story of the mysterious cosmic energy flow in Antarctica has truly shaken the global scientific community in recent years. It all began when physicists, using NASA's most advanced equipment stationed at the South Pole, accidentally detected a strange phenomenon. Powerful cosmic rays, carrying extraordinary amounts of energy, were found piercing straight through the Earth and emerging from the frozen southern ice. This discovery ran counter to every fundamental law of physics known to humanity, leaving many scientists baffled and sparking ongoing debate about the real cause behind this phenomenon. According to standard physical theories, only extremely low-energy neutrinos should be able to pass through miles of solid rock without being stopped. Yet, the instruments in Antarctica picked up signals from particles far more energetic than anyone had thought possible, passing straight through the planet and appearing on the other side, right in the Antarctic ice. This forced scientists to propose a host of new theories, ranging from the possible existence of dark matter and undiscovered types of neutrinos to the possibility of space-time portals or energy leaking in from a parallel universe. This phenomenon was first recorded in 2016, when NASA's network of cosmic ray antennas unexpectedly detected rays that seemed to be coming up from inside the Earth, not from outer space as expected. What shocked researchers even more was that these particles should not have been able to travel through the entire planet without losing energy or vanishing altogether. Yet here they were, clearly detected on the surface of Antarctica's ice. This event ignited fierce debate throughout the scientific world. Some believe it is the first direct evidence of exotic particles that modern physics has never encountered, or perhaps even a sign of another universe somehow interacting with our own. Others take a more cautious approach, suggesting that the observations could be the result of instrument errors or unusual environmental conditions specific to Antarctica. While the true cause remains a mystery, this cosmic energy flow has opened an entirely new frontier for physics, sparking global research efforts and new experiments. Antarctica itself, with its harsh climate and endless fields of ice, has once again become the epicenter of mysteries that humanity has yet to unravel. Who knows how many more strange wonders lie hidden beneath those white layers of ice, when even energy from the farthest reaches of the cosmos seems to choose this remote land as its final destination on Earth. Climate and paleontological research. Modern research into the climate and paleontology of Antarctica has revealed a picture that is completely different from what most people imagine about this frozen continent. When scientists drilled deep into the ice and extracted sediment cores from the seabed, they uncovered clear evidence that Antarctica was once a lush, tropical forest millions of years ago. In these core samples, taken from hundreds of meters beneath the surface, experts discovered pollen, plant roots, forest soil, and a remarkable variety of well-preserved plant remains. These findings prove that there was a time when the climate in Antarctica was warm enough to support abundant plant life, and that even large animals once roamed this land. Dramatic climate shifts eventually transformed Antarctica from a fertile region into the coldest and most barren ice desert on the planet as we know it today. Yet, the layers buried beneath the thick ice still tell the story of an ancient era of natural prosperity that humanity can only imagine. Thanks to these paleontological discoveries, scientists have gained a better understanding of the patterns and causes of global climate change over tens of millions of years, allowing them to make more accurate predictions about the Earth's future. However, what concerns today's experts most is not just the past, but the present and the near future, as the pace of melting ice in Antarctica continues to accelerate due to global climate change. Rising temperatures are causing massive glaciers to retreat into the sea, releasing enormous quantities of fresh water that have been locked in ice for hundreds of thousands of years. Many predictive models now suggest that if this trend continues, even a relatively small amount of melting Antarctic ice could cause global sea levels to rise rapidly, threatening millions of people living along coastlines and disrupting ecosystems around the world. In-depth research in Antarctica is not just about learning more about the planet's distant past, it is also a serious warning about the dangers facing our generation today. Beneath kilometers of thick ice, many secrets still remain to be discovered, but the one undeniable truth is that changes in Antarctica will directly shape the fate of all humanity in the not-so-distant future. Ancient creatures, fossils, and strange animal discoveries. The world of prehistoric life has always been a boundless source of inspiration for scientists and for anyone fascinated by the mysteries of nature. Each time a new fossil is uncovered or a strange creature appears in real life, humanity is once again reminded of nature's limitless creativity. In a quiet rural area of southwestern China, paleontologists spent years working in limestone quarries in search of traces left by creatures that once ruled the oceans hundreds of millions of years ago. Deep within these ancient rocks, they discovered the fossil of a strange marine reptile named Brosaurus. What truly impressed the experts was its flat, short, paddle-shaped tail, completely different from the other marine reptiles of its family. This unique adaptation allowed Brosaurus to move slowly but steadily through the shallow seas of the Triassic period. It was not a fast predator, but it made up for that by taking advantage of its large lungs for long dives, specialized ears for underwater hearing, and a quiet, stealthy approach close to the seabed. Scientists believe that, thanks to its natural float, Brosaurus could easily conserve energy, lying in wait to ambush small fish or even evade larger predators. This discovery has helped shed new light on the complex evolutionary history of ancient marine reptiles, reinforcing the idea that harsh environments drive nature to produce some of its most remarkable and unique life forms. In another distant corner of the world, under the blazing sun of the northern Mexican desert, a team of researchers unexpectedly discovered the fossilized tail, measuring an astonishing 16 meters long, of a giant hadrosaur, or duck-billed dinosaur, the first of its kind ever found in the country. The dinosaur's tail was almost perfectly preserved, with more than 50 vertebrae connected in sequence, allowing scientists to reconstruct nearly the entire skeletal structure and posture of this massive creature. What's more, the bones bore evidence of ailments like bone tumors and arthritis, a stark reminder that even the mightiest dinosaurs were not immune to the natural laws of aging and disease. This discovery not only enriches the world's collection of paleontological treasures, but also provides new insights into evolution, adaptation, and the challenges that dinosaurs faced in their ancient environment. Moving from the giants of the past to the present day, The modern world has also witnessed the repeated appearance of rare and sometimes dangerous animals on popular beaches. The Glaucus atlanticus, often called the blue dragon, has amazed people in South Africa, the United States, and Taiwan with its unique appearance as it washes ashore. This tiny sea slug wears a shimmering blue skin and sports long, delicate appendages that resemble the wings of mythical dragons. Yet, beneath its beauty lies a dangerous secret. Glaucus atlanticus absorbs venom from some of the world's most poisonous jellyfish and stores it in its tendrils, delivering a sting far more potent than that of an ordinary jellyfish. The frequent discovery of blue dragons on beaches around the world points to changing ocean currents and environments, and serves as a warning about the hidden dangers behind nature's alluring facade. Each new find, whether an ancient fossil or a living, breathing marvel, is another piece of the puzzle, helping humanity lift the veil on the mysteries of the past and opening new doors to the wondrous, little-known world of nature that still awaits discovery. Unidentified flying objects in ancient Rome. In 218 BC, the skies above Rome suddenly became chaotic as a series of strange objects appeared, throwing the people into a state of extreme panic. These events were meticulously recorded by prominent ancient historians such as Pliny the Elder and Plutarch. According to their descriptions, there were objects that resembled blazing flames, bursting forth from above, floating across the sky, then vanishing without a trace. Some sources even recount that before major battles, a bizarre glowing object suddenly appeared in the sky, shining brilliantly, shaped like a silver wine jug, which left both armies frozen in place, neither daring to advance. The sudden appearance of these objects not only stirred up fear, but also led many to believe that the gods, or perhaps some mysterious force, was intervening in the affairs of mankind. What makes these accounts remarkable is that these records of unusual phenomena date back to ancient times, long before the concept of UFOs or unidentified flying objects entered modern discussion. In fact, many researchers consider these to be the earliest evidence that our ancestors were also bewildered by aerial events they simply could not explain. The vivid descriptions of glowing masses drifting through the sky, bursting into flame, and then vanishing into the mists above ancient Rome still survive to this day, fueling debate over whether people of the past might have witnessed the presence of entities from another world. It is undeniable that over thousands of years, curiosity and questions about these mysterious objects have never faded. What Roman historians recorded is not just a part of history, but also opens a door to countless unresolved mysteries, leaving people today to wonder about the secrets that are still hovering above humanity's skies. The strange sea hare, creatures of Australia. Along the sweeping coastlines of Australia, there are strange creatures that never fail to stir up curiosity and even a bit of unease among both tourists and locals whenever they appear. Their appearance brings to mind a kind of jellyfish or drifting blobs of translucent jelly, soft and shimmering under the sunlight. But in reality, these are sea hares, a type of soft-bodied marine mollusk belonging to the sea slug family, distinguished by their remarkable ability to release a dark purple ink whenever they feel threatened or are disturbed. The sight of a ribbon of purple ink swirling through the clear seawater never fails to surprise onlookers, but it also raises some concerns about safety. In fact, while the sea hare poses no real threat to humans, it is especially toxic to dogs and other household pets. In some rare cases, even just licking or biting one of these creatures can be extremely dangerous for dogs. The toxins, accumulated from the algae the sea hare eats, can trigger severe symptoms such as vomiting, seizures, and in some cases, death if not treated in time. Animal experts and veterinarians in Australia regularly warn the public not to let dogs roam too close to the shoreline during seasons when sea hares are especially abundant. If you happen to find one washed up on the beach, the best course of action is to keep your distance and make sure pets do not come into contact with it, while also notifying local authorities or marine rescue centers so the creature can be safely handled. The story of the sea hare reminds us that nature is always full of surprises and deserves to be approached with careful observation and respect. Beneath its delicate appearance, this creature hides a powerful defense mechanism, protecting itself from predators and adding a unique splash of color to Australia's marine ecosystem. It stands as proof of the diversity and complexity that the ocean offers to those who love to explore, reminding us that sometimes the strangest things appear right in everyday life, if only we are observant and careful enough to notice and protect ourselves, as well as the animals around us. The discovery of an unknown marble structure. In the heart of bustling Istanbul, archaeologists have just made a surprising discovery. An ancient marble structure hidden deep beneath the historic Kadıköy station area. This construction immediately attracted special attention, thanks to its characteristic semicircular arch shape, a detail commonly seen in the architecture of old Western cathedrals. However, as each slab of stone was revealed from the layers of earth and rock that had covered it for centuries, the true function of this mysterious structure remained a big question for experts. There were no outstanding religious symbols, and no ritual objects or distinctive emblems were found to help clearly determine its original purpose, making the structure even more mysterious. Archaeologists only noticed the meticulous craftsmanship in both the choice of materials and construction. The bright white marble blocks were crafted with great precision, tightly joined to create perfect curves, leading up to the semicircular dome. According to initial assessments, with its deeply recessed arch design, this structure may once have been part of a large church or some sacred relic. The geometric features of the dome, along with the solidity of each stone block, show that this was not merely a shelter or a civil structure, but also carried symbolic meaning for endurance, stability, and the solemnity of a bygone era. This new discovery becomes even more valuable when placed in the context of Istanbul, which has long been a crossroads of countless cultures over thousands of years. Not only is there the semicircular marble dome, but the station area has also continued to reveal many other important relics, such as ancient mass graves, fountains, centuries-old coins, and even traces of a legendary Byzantine palace that once existed here. All these findings further reinforce the theory that this place was once a bustling center of religion and commerce, holding an important role in the history and development of the city. The Titanic and the secret military mission. Few would have guessed that behind the famed 1985 search for the wreck of the Titanic lay a hidden story tied to the world of military secrets and the tense political calculations of the Cold War era. What seemed to be a grand expedition meant to satisfy humanity's curiosity about the legendary ship resting deep at the bottom of the Atlantic was, in reality, a carefully orchestrated cover for a top-secret operation by the United States Navy. Robert Ballard, the head of the expedition, revealed many years later that he and his team had actually been assigned the primary mission of locating and inspecting two missing American nuclear submarines, the USS Thresher and the USS Scorpion, which had disappeared in the 1960s. In order to avoid detection by the Soviet Union, the entire operation was disguised as a search for the Titanic. Only after completing the military objectives was Ballard allowed to turn his attention to the real hunt for the Titanic, and he had just 12 days to accomplish this extraordinary feat. All information relating to the military aspect was kept strictly secret for decades, until documents were declassified, and Ballard himself confirmed the story. In truth, the discovery of the Titanic wreck was just the tip of the iceberg, in a much larger and more complex plan, reflecting the intersection of science, human ambition, and the mysterious strategies of the military. This story shows that sometimes humanity's greatest achievements are not only the result of passion for discovery, but also contain deeper calculations, even influenced by the power struggles between superpowers. And Titanic, with all its glory and tragedy, once again becomes a symbol of secrets still hidden beneath the depths of the ocean. Camp Century. America's City Under the Ice. Camp Century was once considered one of America's boldest and most mysterious constructions during the Cold War era. Located deep beneath the permafrost of Greenland, this base was built with absolute secrecy and purposes that went far beyond anything the public could imagine. At first, the United States announced that it was merely a scientific research center, but the truth behind it concealed far greater military ambitions. Beneath layers of thick ice, Camp Century was an entire miniature city, complete with a network of tunnels, living quarters, communal areas, laboratories, and the most advanced technologies of its time. What made this base truly unique was a plan known as Iceworm. This was a project to install hundreds of nuclear missiles beneath the ice, ready to strike the Soviet Union in an instant if war ever broke out. The icy tunnels of Camp Century were, in fact, just one part of a vast military network stretching for thousands of miles underground, allowing for the flexible movement and deployment of weapons without being detected from above. However, no human calculation could overcome the power of nature. Not long after it was completed, engineers realized that the ice was not as stable as they had thought. The slow but constant movement of the ice began to distort the tunnels, control rooms, and machinery, threatening the safety of the entire base. The Iceworm project had to be abandoned before it reached a dangerous stage, and Camp Century was quickly left deserted after just a decade of operation. Yet, what Camp Century left behind is not only a story of human ambition and failure in the face of nature. As climate change has become increasingly severe, the ice in Greenland is now melting at an alarming rate, revealing hidden dangers deep below the surface. Toxic chemicals, radioactive materials, and biological waste that the US military once buried are now at risk of leaking into the environment, threatening the ecosystem and the health of people in the future. The Nazi Enigma machine found beneath the Baltic Sea. In the frigid waters of the Baltic Sea, where the wind never ceases over the grey, misty waves, a team of divers clearing abandoned fishing nets unexpectedly came across a truly remarkable historical artifact. Hidden beneath the layer of seabed mud was an Enigma encryption machine, a technological icon of military history that once altered the course of World War II. At first, the diver thought he had simply found an old typewriter, but when he realized the complexity of the keyboard and the special arrangement of gears, the entire team knew they had just brought to the surface a treasure of immeasurable value. The Enigma machine was once the secret weapon that allowed the Nazi German military to send encrypted messages, leaving the Allies struggling to break the codes throughout the war. This machine was not only complicated, but also extremely flexible, thanks to a system of 3 to 8 rotating cipher wheels, which could transform each input character into a completely different sequence of symbols. Of these, the 3-wheel models were typically used by the German Navy, while the much more complex 8-wheel version was reserved for U-boats, the infamous submarines that haunted Allied forces in the Atlantic. The discovery in the Baltic Sea was likely one of the Enigma machines that the submarine crew threw overboard when they received the order to self-destruct at the end of the war, to prevent it from falling into enemy hands. Despite exposure to salt water, time, and powerful ocean currents, the machine remained astonishingly intact, a testament to the durability and engineering of that era. Immediately after being recovered, the Enigma machine was swiftly transported to the laboratory at the Schleswig-Holstein State Museum, where experts began a meticulous restoration process. Every detail, from the keyboard to the intricate gear system, was carefully cleaned and restored, in hopes of bringing back as much of the original appearance as possible after nearly 80 years on the ocean floor. It is expected that after about a year of restoration, this extraordinary artifact will be put on display at the museum, giving everyone the chance to witness firsthand and better appreciate a time of immense historical upheaval. For researchers as well as history enthusiasts, the Enigma machine is not only a symbol of ingenuity and technology, but is also deeply entwined with countless mysterious stories of war, espionage, and the fierce competition between world powers in the 20th century. Each time people look at this remarkable device, it feels as if they are transported back to the life and death moments of wartime, when every secret message could change the fate of the world. It also stands as a powerful reminder of the strength of science, technology, and human intellect in the quest for survival amid unprecedented historical change. The discovery of a controversial ancient pyramid. Alongside the world's recognized wonders, Bosnia has sparked heated debate with a highly controversial archaeological discovery: massive pyramids said to be hidden in the Visoko Valley. The story began in 2008, when Sam Osmanagic, an amateur archaeologist of Bosnian origin, confidently declared that the uniquely shaped hills in this area were, in fact, man-made pyramids built by an ancient civilization as far back as 12,000 years ago. According to Osmanagic, the Visoko complex was not just a series of natural mounds, but rather an ancient architectural system with an extremely complex structure even including underground tunnels stretching for kilometers beneath the surface. Osmanagic's arguments are based on his observations of the terrain, several square-shaped stone samples, and local folk legends. He also put forward the theory that this was the center of an advanced civilization with concrete technology superior to what we have today, and even claimed that these pyramids could possess special energies capable of bringing health and longevity to humans. However, most of the international scientific community and leading Bosnian archaeologists have been skeptical of these sensational claims. They believe the hills at Visoko are the result of natural geological processes, and that there is no clear evidence to prove the existence of a man-made structure or any mysterious civilization. The square stones cited by Osmanagic, they argue, can all be explained by geological phenomena, erosion, and the effects of time. Despite the ongoing controversy, the area has attracted large numbers of tourists, history enthusiasts, and people curious about the mystical energies these pyramids are rumored to possess. As a result, many strange theories about energy fields, healing powers, or even extraterrestrial connections have begun to circulate around the hills of Visoko. To this day, no scientific evidence has been convincing enough to confirm that the pyramids in Bosnia are truly ancient, man-made monuments. Even so, the discovery remains a hotly debated topic, a symbol of the human desire to explore mysteries, and a reminder that the boundary between legend, speculation, and scientific truth is something humanity will always strive to search for and debate. The Step Pyramid of Djoser in Egypt. Amid the barren deserts of Egypt, the Step Pyramid of Djoser rises as an immortal wonder that defies the passage of time. More than 4,700 years ago, during the reign of King Djoser, humans turned the bold vision of the vizier Imhotep into reality by stacking 6 layers of stone atop one another to create humanity's very first step pyramid. Each stone level reaches upward like a stairway, guiding the soul across the boundary between life and death. More than just a tomb, this place stands as a declaration of power, intelligence, and the dream of immortality. Hidden deep beneath the sands lies an immense underground labyrinth stretching over 5 kilometers. Spiraling corridors lead visitors down to the chamber where King Djoser's body rests, nearly 30 meters below ground. Every passageway could be a trap or a false door meant to mislead the curious. Massive stone blocks seal the burial chamber, and countless side rooms and winding corridors remain full of mystery. Most archaeologists are astounded by this defensive system, an ancient fortress that was nearly impossible to breach. Above ground, the entire Djoser complex is protected by a 10-meter-high wall and a massive moat, forming an impregnable fortress amid the sea of sand. Within the walls are structures whose secrets remain unsolved, such as the South Temple and North Temple, as well as areas with functions still unknown. Some buildings may appear simple from the outside, but inside, their interiors are breathtakingly elaborate, far ahead of their time. The ancient architects did not just build a pyramid to bury a king. They created an entire world underground to safeguard the royal soul for eternity. Even today, many questions remain unanswered. Did the ancient Egyptians hide even greater secrets beneath these cold stones? Or is the Step Pyramid of Djoser itself a message from our ancestors about a long-lost golden age? Having endured for millennia, the Step Pyramid of Djoser remains a symbol of strength, wonder, and the endless passion for those who love history and yearn to uncover the mysteries of humanity. The discovery of counterfeit silver from the Late Bronze Age. The Late Bronze Age was a time of great upheaval in human history, when major civilizations across the Near East constantly faced war, famine, and the collapse of once mighty kingdoms. Yet, hidden deep within the soil of ancient treasures, modern archaeologists have uncovered an unexpected economic secret: the story of counterfeit silver bars created even before the advent of coins. People in the land of Canaan used incredible ingenuity and cunning to produce fake silver. They would melt copper and cast it into bars, then coat the outside with a thin layer of real silver, turning them into silver bars that appeared perfect to the untrained eye. During exchanges, recipients only saw the shiny exterior, never suspecting that inside was cheap copper. Hundreds of silver artifacts discovered at archaeological sites in present-day Israel now reveal the scale of this operation. Far from being a small-time scam, this may actually have been a large-scale financial policy initiated and controlled by ancient Egyptian authorities to deal with regional silver shortages. As trade routes collapsed and Mediterranean kingdoms plunged into crisis, silver became incredibly precious. The production of fake silver helped rulers increase their reserves, shore up public confidence, pay their armies, and maintain social order. Experts believe these counterfeit bars circulated widely, used for trade, paying soldiers, and even as offerings to the gods, all based on trust in their outward value. They note that without modern archaeological discoveries, no one would have imagined such a sophisticated financial deception existed thousands of years ago. Today, every time experts open a hoard of ancient silver, they are faced with the question, how much of it is genuine? And how much is the product of clever hands from long ago? This discovery not only shows the boundless creativity of ancient people when confronted with adversity, but also serves as a reminder of the ever-shifting and complex nature of economic history, where power, greed, and survival have always intertwined to create mysteries that, thousands of years later, we are still eager to explore. The discovery of alien artifacts in Mexico. Stories about civilizations beyond Earth have always fascinated people, sparking curiosity across every era. But when explorers and archaeologists in Mexico announced the discovery of more than 400 strange artifacts, all shaped in ways that instantly bring to mind aliens, spaceships, or mysterious symbols unlike anything from any known ancient culture on Earth, the picture became more tangled than ever. The person who started this artifact craze was a former military doctor, Garcia Sanchez, who once wandered the remote highlands of Jalisco simply seeking peace in the wilderness. But his life took a different turn when he unexpectedly found a small stone slab decorated with unusual patterns that he believed to be traces of an extraterrestrial civilization. Bringing it back to the village, he was surprised to hear locals share countless stories about similar objects that had been discovered in nearby caves over the decades. This revelation drove him, along with a group of collaborators, to begin a large-scale search and eventually announced they had collected more than 400 artifacts, mostly stone statues, ceramic vases, reliefs, and even fragments of pottery fired at high temperatures, all depicting large-eyed, round-headed beings in astronaut suits and disc-shaped spaceships. These relics immediately ignited a wave of fierce debate. Some claimed this was undeniable evidence of contact between humans and extraterrestrial civilizations in the past. Independent researchers and UFO enthusiasts flocked to this remote region to see the artifacts firsthand, even formulating theories about lost ancient cities or alien communication stations right in the middle of the Mexican desert. However, experts in the field raised serious questions about the authenticity of the collection. No archaeologist had participated in any scientific verification or independent assessment, and the artifacts were primarily introduced through unofficial channels. Many have even suggested that this is a stunt designed to attract tourists or to create a modern-day treasure hunting craze. Despite the unresolved controversy, the allure of these alien artifacts shows no signs of fading. They not only represent humanity's yearning to touch the unknown, but also vividly reflect our need for meaning and extraordinary stories in a turbulent, modern world. Are these truly evidence of aliens once visiting Earth, or simply products of imagination and human ambition? Until science delivers a final answer, the mystery of these relics will continue to captivate and divide generations of explorers. The discovery of a strange object on a Florida beach. Under the brilliant summer sunshine on Pasagril Beach near St. Petersburg, a leisurely stroll along the sand suddenly stopped before a strange object covered in barnacles and seaweed. No one could have imagined that this silent object, lying amid a tourist paradise, would become the spark for an unprecedented panic. Initial curiosity quickly turned to fear when authorities confirmed that it was neither a child's toy swept in by the waves nor the remains of an old ship, but a World War II incendiary bomb, the kind of weapon that once brought terror to battlefields around the world. Immediately, the beach, once alive with laughter and the sound of waves, took on a different mood. An evacuation order sounded. People hurriedly left the area, their anxious eyes never leaving the object still lying exposed on the sand. Beachfront houses quickly locked their doors. and tourists put their vacations on hold to make way for fire trucks and a bomb squad of seasoned specialists from MacDill Air Force Base. A tense, suffocating atmosphere engulfed the whole area, and with just one small mistake, the consequences could have been catastrophic. As everyone watched from a distance, the bomb squad carefully carried out the final procedures. Time seemed to stand still as every eye focused on the technicians in their heavy protective gear. With only a moment's carelessness, a wave of terror from the past could have erupted into the present. But with professionalism and calm, they successfully neutralized the bomb, restoring peace to the beach. When the all-clear siren sounded, the heavy atmosphere vanished, replaced by an overwhelming sense of relief. The story of the incendiary bomb, buried deep in the sand for nearly a century, serves as a vivid reminder that the traces of war can still quietly exist even on the most peaceful days. The ocean, with its gentle appearance, still hides many dangers and secrets. That moment turned an ordinary summer day into an unforgettable memory for everyone who witnessed it, making each person more appreciative of the value of peace and safety they have today. The donation stele for the Roman emperor at Nicopolis ad Istrum. Amid the ancient ruins of Nicopolis ad Istrum, in what is now Bulgaria, archaeologists once discovered a large stone stele deeply marked by Roman history. This block of stone was not just a commemorative object, it preserved a story of loyalty and the desperate will to survive of an entire community that once faced extinction after a political upheaval. The stele is inscribed with solemn lines that recount a moment when the city had to face a harsh reality. At that time, the people of Nicopolis ad Istrum had placed their faith in a rival faction during a contest for the Roman imperial throne. However, fortune did not smile on them. After their chosen candidate failed, the city was suddenly placed in danger, facing suspicion and even the threat of retribution from the new king, Emperor Septimius Severus. Recognizing their disadvantageous position, the city's leaders decided on a move that was both bold and practical. They raised an enormous sum, 700,000 gold coins, and offered it to the victorious emperor. This was not only an act of atonement, but also a pledge of loyalty and a plea for forgiveness, hoping to be reintegrated into the heart of the empire. In response, Emperor Severus sent an official letter of thanks. What was notable was that in this letter, he not only acknowledged the contribution and goodwill of the people of Nicopolis ad Istrum, but also seized the opportunity to claim himself a descendant of the famous Emperor Marcus Aurelius. Though the historical truth did not support this claim, Severus understood well the value of such statements in consolidating his power and enhancing his prestige among his subjects. This stele stands not only as evidence of a great donation, but as a vivid testament to the art of politics in ancient Rome. In such a turbulent world, cities like Nicopolis ad Istrum constantly had to demonstrate goodwill to those in power, especially after major upheavals. The story of the stele, the letter of thanks, and the imperial claim to lineage show how power and wisdom can be forever carved into stone, passed down to future generations as a reminder of the life or death choices of history. The ancient baboon skull. In the world of Egyptian archaeology, there are discoveries that seem minor at first glance, but unexpectedly reveal mysteries that have puzzled researchers for centuries. One such find is the skull of an ancient baboon, which sat quietly for years in the storerooms of the British Museum before becoming the key to unlocking the secret of the Land of Punt. This is the legendary region the ancient Egyptians revered as the homeland of gold, frankincense, and ivory. For years, the skull was overlooked among thousands of other artifacts. But with advances in analytical technology, a team of scientists decided to re-examine every detail of the specimen. The results were astonishing. Analysis of the tooth enamel showed that this baboon was not born in Egypt at all, but came from a distant land. Scholars have long identified these remote regions as Punt, the land described in ancient Egyptian records. For more than a millennium, Egyptian dynasties organized long sea voyages to Punt to bring back all kinds of rare treasures. Among these were baboons, symbols of wealth and power that frequently appeared in ancient tomb paintings. By pinpointing the origins of this skull, the theory about the location of the Land of Punt has grown even more convincing. Now, mounting evidence connects the Horn of Africa with Egypt, confirming that Punt was once a major center of trade in the ancient world. Mysterious sounds in the sky. Imagine standing in a peaceful, quiet space beneath a clear blue sky, when suddenly, the whole area shakes with a loud boom coming from above. How would you feel? This is not such a rare experience. For centuries, people all over the world have reported this baffling phenomenon. These mysterious sounds, echoing from the sky like distant cannon fire or explosions, are known in some places as skyquakes or baryzal guns, while others have their own local names for them. What makes this phenomenon so controversial is the fact that it usually happens at completely unexpected times, when the sky is clear with no hint of thunder or storms. Sometimes, the noise is so powerful it rattles windows and sends entire communities searching for a rational explanation. Over the years, scientists and ordinary people alike have tried to get to the bottom of what's really causing these strange events. Some believe they are the result of underground earthquakes, shaking the earth just enough to produce sound, but not enough to be felt. Others point to the possibility of distant storms at sea or ocean waves crashing against cliffs and sending reverberations for miles. There are also theories involving top-secret military activity, weapons testing, or even supersonic aircraft passing high overhead. Some have even speculated about cosmic origins or natural phenomena never before documented by science. Despite all the research, there still isn't a universally accepted scientific explanation. Each theory seems to answer only part of the mystery, leaving a big question mark hanging over the open sky. That's why skyquakes continue to capture the imagination of scientists, researchers, and anyone who loves exploring the mysteries of the natural world. Until humanity finds a definitive answer, every time we hear one of these unexplained booms echoing from above, we are reminded that nature still holds countless secrets that modern science has yet to uncover, and that our journey to understand the world around us is far from over. The ancient wolf pup and the woolly rhinoceros. Beneath the permafrost of the frozen north, a series of remarkable discoveries have brought scientists closer than ever to unraveling the mysteries of the prehistoric animal world. One of the most astonishing finds was the perfectly preserved body of a wolf pup discovered in the Yukon region of Canada. Entombed in ice for 57,000 years, this little wolf, named Jour by researchers, was found with its fur, teeth, claws, and even soft tissues almost completely intact. Scientists hope that this mummified pup will reveal secrets about Arctic wildlife during the Ice Age. Jour's existence is a priceless gift for the field of paleontology. Researchers quickly extracted DNA samples from its preserved tissues for analysis. The data revealed that Jour belonged to an extinct lineage of wolves, with ancestral ties to both modern wolves in Alaska and Eurasia. Genetic analysis also showed that this pup lived during a brief period of warming, when North American grasslands were teeming with life. The genetic information gathered from Jour has helped scientists reconstruct the evolutionary journey and the intricate connections between ancient carnivores in the prehistoric cold. But the surprises don't end in Yukon. In the icy wilderness of Siberia, local residents stumbled upon the nearly intact remains of a young woolly rhinoceros along a riverbank. This juvenile rhino's body was so well preserved that its fur, horn, teeth, soft tissues, and even internal organs remained visible after tens of thousands of years. Marks on the remains suggest the animal died at a young age, possibly from drowning during a flood or after falling into the river as the climate abruptly turned harsher. Traces on the horn show it had been used to dig for food beneath the snow, clues that have given researchers valuable insight into the living conditions and survival habits of these Ice Age giants. By analyzing DNA from the exceptionally preserved tissues of both the wolf pup and the woolly rhinoceros, scientists have unlocked new opportunities to study the genetics, evolution, and adaptability of prehistoric animals in extreme environments. These findings not only help reconstruct a vivid panorama of ancient fauna, but also lay the groundwork for uncovering unknown mysteries of extinct species. Each mummified specimen is like a doorway into the past, a world where extraordinary creatures once roamed and helped shape the dynamic history of life on Earth tens of thousands of years ago. The discovery of a mysterious relic from the Great Pyramid of Giza. Amidst the countless mysteries that have shrouded the Great Pyramid of Giza for thousands of years, there are stories that seemed destined to fade with time, until a chance discovery reignited the curiosity of archaeologists and history enthusiasts alike. Such is the case of a small but invaluable piece of cedar wood, once believed lost for more than 70 years, and one of 3 unique artifacts ever taken out from within Egypt's greatest ancient pyramid. The journey of this wooden fragment began in 1872, when British engineer Wayneman Dixon and his friend James Grant embarked on an exploration inside the Queen's Chamber of the Great Pyramid. There, they uncovered 3 unusual objects: a small ball, a metal hook, and a mysterious piece of cedar wood. The first 2 items, the ball and the hook, were placed in the British Museum, while the cedar wood was taken to Scotland by James Grant, only to disappear without a trace after his collection was transferred to the University of Aberdeen. Nearly a century passed as researchers continued to wonder about the fate of this vanished artifact, since it was one of the very few objects ever directly retrieved from the heart of the Great Pyramid, an area rarely accessed or penetrated due to the monument's sealed structure and strict protections. It was not until late 2019, during an inventory at the University of Aberdeen Museum, that an Egyptian assistant curator made an unexpected discovery: a small cigar box adorned with the Egyptian flag. Inside, she immediately recognized the long-lost cedar wood fragment, nestled among other old documents. The rediscovery of this wooden relic is not just a story of recovering a piece of history. It has opened up new avenues of research into the construction methods and hidden secrets of the Great Pyramid itself. Radiocarbon dating revealed that the cedar fragment dates from around 3340 to 3094 BCE, which is actually older than the pyramid's established construction date according to ancient records. This revelation left scholars with pressing questions. Was the wood used during the building process, or was it part of some unknown ceremonial object or tool, serving a purpose that remains unexplained to this day? The cedar wood, along with the ball and the hook, are collectively known as the Dixon relics, rare evidence from a golden era, helping researchers unlock new questions about ancient engineering, religious rituals, and the spiritual life of Egypt's earliest civilization. With this surprising discovery, a new door has opened in the ongoing quest to unravel the mysteries of the Great Pyramid of Giza, a place where even the smallest artifact can hold an extraordinary story about the brilliant civilization that once flourished along the Nile. The mysterious Stargate of Sri Lanka. Hidden among the ancient gardens of Sri Lanka, a strange stone slab adorned with circular carvings has become the center of countless mysterious tales. Its surface is etched with intricate lines, forming a large circle filled with smaller patterns, mysterious symbols that seem to belong to a civilization long lost to history. Many believe this is far more than a simple work of art. According to popular theories spread online and within the world of mystery enthusiasts, it is a stargate, a device connecting humans with extraterrestrial civilizations. Supporters of this idea point out the similarities between Sri Lanka's stone and the enigmatic architecture of ancient Peru and Egypt, weaving thrilling stories about contact between Earth and the cosmos, and knowledge passed down to humanity through these mysterious gateways. According to these theories, the site was once the setting for secret rituals, or even a landing point for ancient alien visitors. However, mainstream archaeologists and historians see things very differently. They emphasize that these carvings are an inseparable part of Sri Lankan history and culture, best understood within the context of the island's evolving art and religious traditions. To experts, unlocking the true meaning of this stone requires careful study of archaeological evidence, ancient texts, and solid scientific research, not far-fetched speculation. Researchers warn that if we focus too heavily on fringe ideas and ignore the site's local heritage, we risk obscuring the unique identity of Sri Lanka's legacy, which has developed over thousands of years. To this day, the true meaning of the circular stone remains unresolved. Whether it is the product of modern imagination or a genuine ancient enigma, the Stargate of Sri Lanka continues to inspire historians and mystery seekers alike. Each time it is gazed upon, people are left to wonder not only about the secrets of the past, but about the fine line between legend and reality, between science and the limitless imagination of humanity. Fossils and ancient elixirs. thousands of years ago. Long before humanity understood anything about dinosaurs or prehistoric creatures, giant fossilized bones unearthed from the earth inspired countless mysterious stories and mythical beliefs. To our ancestors, these fossils were far more than the remains of extinct animals. They seemed to possess a hidden power that modern science has yet to fully explain. In many parts of the world, people believed that fossilized bones were the remains of gods, giants, or legendary beings who once walked the earth. They attributed to these ancient relics the power to heal every kind of illness, restore strength, or even grant long life. Stories about the miraculous powers of fossils spread from generation to generation, giving rise to unique and imaginative traditions of folk medicine. One of the most remarkable examples comes from the Comanche tribe in central North America. Whenever they discovered fossils from prehistoric animals, the Comanche would carefully grind the bones into a fine powder, mixing it with local herbs to create their own version of an elixir. They believed this medicine could heal wounds, sprains, and restore the strength and vitality of the elderly and infirm. Some even used fossil powder as a daily dietary supplement, hoping to gain the extraordinary power of the mysterious creatures from the distant past. In other cultures, fossils were treated as protective charms, used to ward off evil spirits or bring good luck. Every region attached its own unique stories to fossils, but the common thread was a belief in the supernatural force concealed within these remnants of the past. For ancient people, fossils were not just marks left by time, they were bridges connecting humanity with the world of myth, between reality and the deep, mysterious faith in an age when magnificent creatures once ruled the earth. The treasure code of Pirate Levasseur. In the world of pirates, the name Olivier Levasseur, known as the Buzzard, continues to ignite the imagination and desire of treasure hunters around the globe. In the early 18th century, Levasseur was one of the most feared pirates ever to terrorize the waters of the Indian Ocean. When he was finally captured by the French authorities and sent to the gallows in 1730, he didn't just leave behind a legend, he also bequeathed to the world a mystery that has never been solved. The most shocking detail comes from the final moments before his execution. Levasseur was said to have worn a mysterious necklace containing a piece of paper inscribed with a complex code. According to legend, this coded message was a map leading to a vast treasure he had hidden somewhere in the Seychelles, treasure believed to be worth over $1 billion. Since then, generations of explorers, archaeologists, and fortune seekers have flocked to the Seychelles, all hoping to become the first to unearth the legendary pirate gold. Yet every attempt to crack the code has ended in frustration, as Levasseur's string of symbols has proven an unbreakable challenge for cryptographers, from enthusiastic amateurs to the world's leading experts. No one knows for certain whether Levasseur truly hid a treasure, or if the entire story was an elaborate ruse designed to fool the world. But the enigma of the coded note remains unsolved, continuing to fuel hope, curiosity, and the enduring dream of overnight riches for anyone willing to set out in search of the greatest lost treasure in pirate history. Strange natural phenomena. Across the frigid polar regions of the Earth, nature never fails to astonish us with mysterious phenomena that still defy complete explanation. Among the most striking is the sudden appearance of gigantic icebergs that are almost perfectly square, with flat surfaces and razor-sharp edges, so precise that anyone seeing them for the first time might assume they were sculpted by human hands. Scientists explain that this phenomenon can occur when large slabs of ice break away from the edge of massive ice shelves. If the fractures happen just right, the resulting icebergs can naturally form into surprisingly geometric blocks. Yet, even with a scientific explanation, standing before a perfectly square iceberg floating in the cold ocean inspires awe and deep reflection on the hidden powers of nature. But that's not all. Researchers have also documented the formation of enormous holes in the ice known as polynyas, vast areas of open water that appear suddenly amid what seems to be an unbroken sea of ice. These holes can stretch over tens of thousands of square kilometers, appearing and disappearing without warning, affecting the local marine ecosystem and the patterns of ocean currents. While scientists have tried to explain polynyas through shifts in wind, temperature, and water movement, the phenomenon remains a major mystery, fueling scientific debate for decades. All across the frozen fields of the Arctic and Antarctic, people have reported hearing strange sounds echoing through the icy expanse. Sometimes it's a buzzing or a drawn-out beeping, or odd noises emanating from deep within the ice. Yet, their source remains unidentified. Some theories suggest these sounds are caused by the movement and collision of ice. But to many local hunters and expedition teams, they seem like the mysterious whispers of a land that never truly sleeps beneath its heavy blanket of ice. Beneath that silent surface, scientists have discovered an even more unexpected danger: hidden volcanoes beneath the Antarctic ice. Hundreds of volcanoes are quietly emitting heat beneath ice sheets several kilometers thick, accelerating the melting of some of the world's largest glaciers. While there has been no recorded eruption in recent millennia, even a slight change could trigger massive ice melt, causing global sea levels to rise rapidly and threatening coastal cities around the world. The Vatican's secret time machine. On the quest to uncover humanity's greatest historical mysteries, few tales are as mysterious or as controversial as the legend of the time machine known as the chronovisor. According to various accounts, the chronovisor is not just a product of imagination. It is said to have actually been seen, and even built, by a select group of priests and renowned scientists. They believed this strange device allowed people to observe any event from the past as if watching a movie, from the most monumental moments in human history to mysteries that have never been solved. According to the testimony of Father Pellegrino Annetti, a priest, musician, and physicist, the chronovisor was developed through the collaboration of several brilliant scientists, including Nobel Prize-winning physicists and engineers who once worked for NASA. Annetti described the chronovisor as a special screen capable of capturing and displaying residual sound and images lingering in the fabric of space, allowing users to witness historical events firsthand, for example, the moment when Jesus was crucified. Stories about this device have spread far and wide, convincing many that the Vatican truly possesses one of the greatest secrets of all time. Yet, to this day, no scientific evidence has ever been made public to confirm the existence of the chronovisor. The Vatican has always maintained silence in the face of all rumors, only deepening the mystery that surrounds this device. Some believe it is nothing more than a product of imagination, or simply an elaborate cover-up for sensitive events within the Church. Whatever the truth may be, the chronovisor continues to inspire countless lovers of history and conspiracy theories, leaving a lasting mark from an era when humanity longed to peer into the past and explore what once seemed forever out of reach. If you found these mysterious stories intriguing, please share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss out on our next explorations. We'll see you in the next video.